Hello, I'm ABX3Cat, and Minecraft Bedrock has a profanity filter built into the game by default. This means that if you leave a message on a sign or in the in-game chat that Mojang deems to be obscene, they will automatically filter it out and replace it with these hashes instead. However, interestingly, in the latest preview, a very interesting preview for lots of reasons, they've actually added a brand new setting for Windows players to be able to turn off this filter, and it actually takes place retroactively. What's interesting though is that even when turned off, it only filters most profanities back into the game because there is an exception for some potentially harmful content. But here's the question, what is that potentially harmful content? I've been saying obviously just to test. I only believe some of that, but none of it was filtered by Minecraft, and we can't find a list anywhere in the game files of the words that are filtered, and so here's the challenge for you. Can you find a word that is still filtered, even with the profanity filter off? Because I've not been able to, and I'm not sure Microsoft likes what I've been typing in the game, so I won't risk my account anymore. Speaking of the preview, by the way, did you know it actually adds a pause button to Bedrock that actually pauses the game? I know, revolutionary, but what's crazy about this is it doesn't just pause the game in single player, like we were asking for, but it will also pause the game in a multiplayer setting if you're the only person in it. So this world, as you can see, is multiplayer but set to invite only, but it still pauses in midair for me, and if you're curious as to whether the bug where it resets your full damage has moved over from Java, well... Speaking of bugs on Bedrock, I finally lost my first hardcore world due to one. It was actually a world where I made it my first priority to go to a woodland mansion, and immediately after I got my totem and dying, the game started to lag. I need to turn down my render distance ASAP, because playing like that, this much lag is a hazard to my health, right? So let's just turn it down. I thought a creeper exploded and killed me for a second there. I'd emotionally accepted death. Oh, no, chat, no! Don't kill me. Don't kill me. No! What? No! Ah! Sure, I lost 3 hours of work, and that seems bad, but this is a pretty good sales pitch for the brand new pause function coming in 1.20, 1.60, and I guess I'm an update salesperson now, because in just 2 major minor Minecraft updates from now, you'll be able to do that yourself, and that death will be avoidable. By the way, this video is made up of lots of smaller video ideas that I didn't think made sense by themselves, but that I really want to talk about, such as right after my death, I had a backup of the world from literally 2 minutes before, and the question was, do you think it's okay to load that backup of your hardcore world if it's literally a bug that killed you? And so I asked my chat this same question, and intriguingly enough, the response was very close to 50-50, with slightly more people saying no than yes. So what did I do? I didn't load the backup. Why would that be true? I think that in a hardcore world, you have to accept that there are going to be deaths that aren't your fault, but the whole point of hardcore is that any of them will end your world in its entirety. And so when I do a 100 days in hardcore, which I'm going to be starting for Streammas on December 1st, by the way, it's going to be fun because the creaking update will come out and we'll incorporate that into our hardcore world, but it will be real hardcore, and if the game gets me, the game gets me. I'm going to be playing it for real on stream, and it's going to be a lot of fun. But speaking of fun, help, I'm stuck in a cave, says teenagers suck, and advice, kill yourself. That sounds rude, but they say I'm completely stuck in a cave and can't find my way out. I have no wood to make another pickaxe, and I really don't want my diamond one to break. The easiest way to avoid any of your armor degrading is to turn on coordinates and then kill yourself, because you'll spawn at the surface somewhere where you can just make a brand new pickaxe and mine down to your current self, and then you'll have an easy way right back out. The fun part of this question though is imagine that this person is in hardcore. Imagine that they're in hardcore game mode and they need to get out of this cave. Then the easy solution would be use your fist. No matter how deep you are underground, if you just make a staircase out, it might take you a few minutes, but eventually you can escape. Or there's actually an even more fun option available to you. If we imagine that they are playing hardcore and so literally cannot die, there is one other way they can do this. So I've recreated their inventory perfectly, just with the exception of this diamond pickaxe. You can't give yourself low durability tools. Just imagine this has one set of mining blocks worth in it, and then imagine that we don't have anything in the bundle because we don't know what's in theirs, and let's show you how they can save themselves just using the inventory from their picture. So first things first, they want to use the crafting table they have, and then use the cobbled deep slate they have and combine that together, which can be easily done, right so, into making a furnace. Take that furnace and then put your raw iron inside of it. There's nothing they have on them which can easily actually cook this besides their fishing rod and their bow. I wouldn't recommend doing that, but they totally could. Otherwise, what they could do is they could place their water down, and because they're at Deep Slate Lair, somewhere around, I have no doubt that they can find some amount of lava. Caves tend to be filled with them, and if you can just find a single source, then you could use this to fuel your furnace. Throw the lava in there with all of your iron. You can cook up as much iron ingots as you like, but we're specifically only looking for 31, enough to make 3 blocks of iron, and then also 4 extra ingots to go with it. Combine these together and you get an anvil, and then you can use that anvil and this big stash of diamonds you have to repair your pickaxe enough to get out of there. It might not be the most effective way to use a diamond, but it will give you enough of a repaired pickaxe that you can get yourself out of the cave and back to safely just fine. And this is the important reminder that even though suicide sometimes looks like it's the easiest option, and it definitely sometimes can be, it's rarely the best option. Especially in hardcore, which is what real life is. So don't do it. I know it gets dark outside this time of year, but you know, some people care. I care. And so if you see a friend who's about to kill themselves so they can get to the surface quicker, just remind them that you care about them too. Speaking of caring, you might care about this guy's fun meme. It is something that I've been mentioning on this channel for a very long time, that ultimately the Woodland Mansion is a very daunting structure, but even in hardcore, surely you could just take it down with fire. This is something I think I would actually test for the benefit of myself, because is it actually better to burn the whole structure down to make it safer to take on? Well, I figured rather than sitting here and watching it at regular speed, why not do the same, but at 100 times tick speed? This will go a little bit crazy, but it's something you can do to your Minecraft world if you want to. You can set the fire to go significantly faster than it otherwise would, and we can see, is this a smart idea or is this a dumb one? Well, I have a flint and steel, so let's find out. As you can see, not very effective. We're going to need to really get some different controlled burns on the inside of this place, ideally ones that don't burn me too, but just make sure they're separated, so that way if one of the sets of fires go out, it should still keep going into the next one. No, not a very effective strategy whatsoever. You might be better off with lava, because that can at least continuously spread into more fire. So pro tip, this is how you get rid of a Woodland Mansion. It's actually a lava bucket, not a single source of flint and steel. Oh yeah, that's much more magical, isn't it? You heard it here first. If you really want to burn down a Woodland Mansion, I've tested this a few times, a lava bucket is much more effective than a flint and steel, but it will eventually burn out and will not eventually burn down the entire Woodland Mansion, and so this is an effective start to a strategy, but you'll need to use the lava quite a few times if you want to actually guarantee you're not going to die, something which you probably care about. Speaking of not wanting to die, something really cool that I learned today, and that hopefully you learn before you die, is that you can actually copy-paste certain symbols, like this armor one, into Minecraft signs. You can do this not just on signs, but also in the chat, which is really fun if you ask me, and it can work with all sorts of different symbols, including a furnace and a crafting table, etc, etc. It's really, really cool in my opinion, and if you wanted to, you could use this to bypass the filter, and you could say all sorts of unconscionable things. All you need to do is know the exact list of symbols to copy, because this search sign, for example, is replaced with the A letter, which you can use to, I don't know, swear all sorts of terrible ways if you wanted to, and no one can stop you, because the censors don't realize that this is an A, and in fact not a search symbol. By the way, speaking of search symbols, while searching the bug tracker, I actually found one of the very few things you cannot write on a sign. I've tried to write it on this sign right here, and it's led to the text going a bit different, but according to this bug report, MCPE 1817916, apparently you can't input these two symbols into the game. Huh, I wonder why. What an interesting little fact. I wonder why you can't do that. Well, according to this bug report, they reference the fact that in Buddhism, this symbol actually represents auspiciousness, and the other one means the exact same thing, but is also a symbol of Nazi Germany. And so, fun fact, if you search the bug tracker for Nazi Germany, this is the only bug that comes up, which is entirely understandable. Also, since bug reports are just submitted by users, did you know there are some very fun ones that exist from the early days of Minecraft Bedrock? Here is one of my favorites. The title is just, here's a few bugs, there's no apostrophe, but that's fine. When you explode TNT or a creeper, you go sky high. My roof of my house disappeared. No minecart sound. Sponge does nothing. When really high up, carpet seems weird. Beetroot not in never reactor. When leave game and rejoin, game crashes. Huge lag spikes sometimes. Get pushed by minecart when hits you. What I love about this is because this was clearly submitted a long time ago, like 2016, if not before, it means the person who submitted this might actually be a a full-grown person now, and if that's you, I just want you to know you submitted perhaps the best bug report ever. Speaking of bugs, let me show you a seed which was just found by Fragrant Result, and it's a seed that absolutely looks like it should be a bug, because just typing in these letters into a Minecraft world gives you one of the most interesting spawns I've ever seen. It is one that I want to start a challenge from, because immediately you'll see this isn't like any other Minecraft spawn. You spawn at 02410, and that is always going to be on this block of dirt right here. That's right, it's one block, but in Minecraft, naturally spawning, which is just wild. And fun fact, if you were to jump down and, try to get down here, you would die, which would lead to a death in hardcore. Your respawn point can be down here, but your main spawn will always be up there, something I can show you by loading this up in hardcore. Which then results in perhaps the most interesting challenge seed that Minecraft has ever spawned into. Whoa, my god. How are you ever going to make this work is a really interesting question that you could ask yourself, and it's one that I wanted to look into. The reason I found this seed is because I'm currently diving into the best seeds of 2024. It's something that's been doing a lot of research, but I found some very crazy things, and this seed I think would have been the very best seed of the year, and perhaps the start of an entire series here on this channel, but it has one crucial flaw, one reason that it's not as interesting as it seems, and it's because of the fact that I think if you just jump over here, I hope I got that right, well, if your controller doesn't disconnect. Well, there goes the world. Okay, I'll simulate the jump in spectator mode. So you're over here, right? There's nothing around you besides a single stone block all that way away. But if you just jump over the top here, then you'll find a single piece of water. And sadly, that single piece of water ruins this entire seed. It's so disappointing because otherwise it would have made for a crazy challenge, right? Like, could anyone do anything about it? Outside of just using the Bedrock bug of sometimes avoiding full damage, would there have ever been a way to make this into something? It's an interesting thought, but sadly, it's just a hypothetical because this seed isn't actually the biggest challenge. Similarly, and also found by Fragrant Result about a few weeks earlier, there's this seed right here, which as you can see is basically the exact same challenge, but there's not an immediate source of water that you can jump into, but because it's a slightly bigger island, you could just take all of the dirt and stack it over to the nearest water hole. But it's so sad in my opinion because this would be such a cool challenge otherwise. How long could you survive in the sky? How long would it take you to get down? I'm guessing you would have to, I can see a way that you would make it work, but it's such a fun idea, and there are so many seeds that, the seed finding community has gotten to the point now where they're finding challenges that are actually so wildly compelling, and if you don't think that's cool, then I don't think that you're cool. Speaking of cool, you noticed that I had to switch out from using my controller recently. Something fun about the latest Minecraft preview, it doesn't just have profanity filters disabled, so you can... Oh, that's the seed I'm typing right there. It doesn't just have profanity filters disabled, so you no longer have to make your swear words in funny letters or anything, but also it has a brand new option that doesn't seem to be referenced anywhere on the changelog, but is found right here too, except this one is exclusively not for Windows. So it's experimental power saving features, and as you can see, I can't do anything with it because I'm playing on a Windows device. But I jump over to my Xbox and, ooh, is Modern Warfare 2 in the disk drive still? No. Okay. Well, I jump over to my Xbox and I load up the Minecraft preview, and intriguingly enough... Wait, did you see that? Was that an ad for McDonald's on the homepage? Ah. But if we load up the Minecraft preview, you'll see that my settings menu is in fact missing the profanity filter, so no talking about all sorts of fun things for me, but there is the ability to turn this one off, so I can lower the frame rate when controller is disconnected. This is turned on by default as a way to save power, and so, I don't know, I think that's a good thing. I know Microsoft is using an amount of power equivalent to some large number of nuclear reactors, however... They're also, allowing you to save the batteries in your controllers, so I think it just about balances out. Speaking of balancing out, let's go jump onto a realm, because fun fact, I have some, and if I jump onto a realm, you'll see there's a bit of a problem with the preview, which I don't think they fully considered, because you can play realms on preview, but they've just added this new text to the bottom line of the preview that tells you about threads, the render frame times, and all sorts of interesting stats that I'm sure developers can take advantage of. Okay, here we are in my very normal Minecraft world. I don't think there's anything particularly special about it to anyone watching this video, but as we go into my usual Minecraft world, I can show you that the realm ID is meant to show on your screen, but it covers up some of that previous text, and so this is just a fun case of like Minecraft getting in the way of Minecraft again. I think I've referenced this before, but I think sometimes Minecraft and Minecraft don't work that well together, and this might be one of those cases. So there's a big debate amongst the people, at least on my team here, about whether it's going to be called the Winter Drop or something else. I think I'm one of the few in the community that's leaning towards it being called the Winter Drop even after, because if this is the first Winter Drop, just like how they had a Secret Friday update or a Halloween update, you get to have one, and it's only confusing next year if they try to do a Winter Drop 2, and so I think there is a real chance, at least 60-70%, that the Winter Drop is going to be the official name for it when it releases in just over a week. Or maybe just under 2 weeks, I guess we could say, for December the 10th, my official prediction. However, it seems as though my prediction might be a few days off, because the Minecraft official WhatsApp group, this is a real channel that you can follow. I don't know why it exists or who this is for, but this is a thing that you can choose to follow for all sorts of weird posts, and on that, they post 4 emojis, a 5 emoji, a calendar emoji, and then a couple of interesting, thinking, and then shh emojis, letting us know that maybe something is happening on the 5th. Or, I guess it's conceivable that something is happening in 5 days, but that would be a Sunday, and people will be too busy in church to play Minecraft updates.
Okay, update. It seems as though I was correct and they didn't want to wait until Sunday to announce it, because literally the next day, Wednesday, they decided to announce this. I actually was taking a single day out of the country for my friend's birthday, and so guess what? Everyone's favourite part of a Minecraft news video is here, because this is Toycat Talks loudly at you through the airport, because December the 3rd is when we'll be getting the Winter Drop, or as it's now known, the Garden Awakens. This is a very interesting name for an update. The fact that they're using this key art is also super interesting. There's so much to talk about here. I mean, the fact that they're not using Steve anywhere in there. In fact, the creaking is taking kind of a center stage. This is one of the moodiest images they've used. It's got the fog that people asked for. Again, interesting that Minecraft uses the things that people like in the marketing, but not necessarily in the update. Lots of interesting little tidbits that have to be said here. But also what's interesting is that Minecraft re-released the Creeper Cape with this little segment on the page saying, yep, we are officially selling a cape if you buy a cape. And not that I'm encouraging this, but this is going to be the most returned item on the Minecraft website. People are going to buy the item, get the code for the cape, and then immediately return it. So I assume that that's going to put a dent in Minecraft's plans to do something like this in the future. But I also assume that this is going to sell them a lot of those capes that otherwise wouldn't have been sold. Bit of a shame, but again, I spoke a lot more about my feelings on that yesterday, and I hope that you enjoyed this video, which is made up of lots of different pieces. It's just something kind of fun that I wanted to do, and the fact that it happens to have the biggest announcement of the last couple of months is just a fun little bonus, and I hope you didn't mind waiting a little bit for me to get to an airport to do this. I was literally, again, my friend's birthday. You can imagine, very hard to get out and record a birthday, get out and record a little bit of the video, but hopefully you enjoyed it nonetheless. I'll mind my step, and I'm going to fly back home now, and hopefully upload this video shortly, because I'll see you next time. Goodbye.